Well, it's interesting in the beginning. But it's kind of fun going from kind of atoms to bits. I'm sorry, bits to atoms, right? Intangible things to tangible things. That was kind of fun. But back then, the food industry as a whole, especially the cacao business, very like aging dinosaur-y. Not a lot of headway to innovation, right? At the time, there wasn't chief innovation officers generally. There's chief technical officers, but not a lot of internal need to innovate, and they would acquire small companies, same as today. But the drive for inside innovation really wasn't a thing generally. There's all outliers on that. But in everything we're doing, there's usually headwind, right? So what we found generally, coming from the tech business, our normal rate of speed is kind of going about twice the rate of speed in the food business. So that was kind of fun. So we can move at like 3/4 speed and still be moving faster than most of them. But we ended up just learning that we have to build the stuff ourselves first. We have to build our first pilots. We have to build the stuff just to prove it to people, show it to them, and that's just kind of part of our whole methodology and treasure aid as well. But what's really changing now, though, as we started to see more and more folks that cashed out, and it's a hobby thing, or like folks that really see, like, I've got some technology, I can apply it to this business, right? And that's really where the magic really starts to overlap. Now we're seeing a complete flood of IoT, trying to IoTize everything in the food business, which is great, right? So we're starting to see machine vision come in. I mean, when we were building machine vision systems, we had to build our own damn computers. I mean, and then we were able to get it on a Mac Mini, so that was a big deal, right? But now you can just buy yourself into a machine vision or a machine learning systems. You just buy a API kit to artificial intelligence or machine learning now. This is a big deal. I think this is going to revolutionize the entire thing. We're going to have a lot less loss. We're going to have a lot less uniformity of product when it comes to consistency and cleanliness. But I just think it's a very magic time. It's one of those times where I try to tell people that are kind of in it right now is to take a note. Take a snapshot, especially you. Take a snapshot of where we're at right now, because we're in history-making time. This is the transfer from one state to another state. We're going to a whole nother level of automation, consistency, traceability, quality, and ways to be able to bring more nutritious foods to people, both in the CPG products, but also in the waste streams as well. So I just think it's not the golden age, but I think it's a really magic time, period. And now now it's flooding, and now people are just figuring out what we can do with it now. You find it in applications, and now I think it's going to go it's going to go manifold. It's going to like that, and then it's going to push around the world even further. It's going to make that noise too, by the way, when it does that.
Did you want to add something?
I was just going to add maybe one layer onto that too. I think, you spoke about how the science and the technology is evolving and all of the potential that's creating, but I think that our perspective has changed a little bit too. There have been a lot of innovations to solve a number of problems that haven't always taken into account unintended longer-term consequences. And we've gone into the labs and we've synthesized new chemistries and molecules that solve a problem today, but maybe are persistent in the environment, or our bodies don't really know how to process. And I think we're starting to see a time where, and this is how we think of innovation at Apeel, is we actually look to nature as the ultimate innovator. And we have the technology and the science now to study it at the molecular level and work within, the natural world's alphabet of chemistries and molecules to develop products that our bodies and the planet already know how to process. And it's a lot of the same principles that we've been applying using the scientific method, but we're focusing that in a different way. That will ultimately be more sustainable and responsible than in the past. So I think that that's maybe one additional piece to build on. But I like your point about taking a snapshot now.
It's amazing
and
time.
Just seeing where we'll be 10 years from now even.
It's explosive.